So now we're going to do legs, flexibility, mobility training. So 2 blocks underneath your knees. From there, sorry, I'm not feeling 100%. My throat is a bit out of sorts. So sorry about my voice. So from here, you want to arch your back, shoulders down, chest up. You could sit against a wall with a towel underneath, okay? From there, we're going to point our toes as much as possible. Keep that arch and up tall, but ribs are still in even though we're arching, because that brings the origin and insertion of the hamstrings further away. And you're going to lift up, hold for 3, go and lift up again further through the quad extension and down. So you're lifting up, keeping the arch, ribs in, shoulders open. So that's lift up 1, and you can see how there's a lift up 2, really 2 extensions. So lift up 1, lift up 2, and down. You'll probably get some cramping in your feet, no doubt. Keep the arch, lift up 1, lift up 2, 3. Lift up 1, 2, 4. Really up tall, belly in, using your lower abs. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Really squeeze that second squeeze. 10. Other side, so 1, and that second squeeze, it really goes to another extension and down. You've really got that arch, shoulders down, chest up. The ribs are still in. 2, 3, 4, 5. So see that 2 extensions. Holding for around 3 seconds at the top. Arching your back, so important. 6, 7. Keep the ribs in. Keep the chest open. 8, 9. One more. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Really extend and down. So you're doing 10 repetitions. And then from there, you're going to do really super fast kicks. So you're going to lie on your back, leg is extended here, other leg extended. You're going to bring your core in, engage. This is going to engage your core and hip flexors. You're going to keep that extension that you had when you were doing the quad extensions just before. And if you go up and you start to bend, don't go so high. So it's going to be a really super fast engagement here. So up, 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 even faster if you can. Up, 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 9, 10. So you're going to really feel that fire. And we want to work to get faster and faster. So the way I know that I'm extending my legs enough is my heel is coming off the floor. And my knee is just feeling that burn. So here is the movement. Up, up, faster, belly in, up, leg straight, up, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whew. Okay, so now we're going to go to side kicks. So you're lying on your side here. You want to push away from the mat here. You don't want to sink down. Really important. So from here, you're going to lift up, and here is where the maximum lift is until you externally rotate. You have to keep no bend in the knee. As you externally rotate, use your side glute to pull the leg up higher. Higher, 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 higher. There may be a click as long as there's no pain, that's okay. So there's a micro bend, straighten that out. And then come down. So it's not quite as fast, but it's still very much important that you activate it, but with a little bit of speed. So you're lifting up, rotating, squeezing your side butt here and under butt, lifting up, extending that leg again because you might have bent it. And as you come up, push, come down, push up there through the torso. So this side body, yeah? So squeezing that glute, squeezing that quad, really bringing that leg up and pushing back up. And 4. See how I keep pushing up? Straightening that leg. 5. Now I have some cracking going on, but there's no pain. Straighten that leg. 6. There's always that little bend. Really push up. Straighten that leg. 7. So you really have to be mindful. 8. 9. Push up. Straighten the leg. Quad activation. 10. So what I'm saying is when you're doing this movement, is you're here on the side, so you're really on the side here. And as you lift up here, you don't poke back or forward. And you don't sink down, you really keep that up. And then you rotate the leg out, and then you squeeze here, squeeze, squeeze, and extend the leg a little more. And then as you come down, rotate it back and up. So you have to do that rotation out to get the movement. Okay? Really straighten the leg, rotate back, and your hips aren't going back too far. You're squeezing here. 3 to make that work, to get the leg up and back and controlled. Okay, so here, squeezing the glutes, legs are long, lifting up, rotating, really rotating that leg, pointing that foot and squeezing. 4. Micro bend out. 5. Pushing up through the ribs as you come down. 6. 7. So it's really a controlled, strong movement. If you're not feeling the underbutt, you're not doing it right. 8. If you're not feeling your quads and straightening that leg again, you're not doing it right. 9. If you're not feeling here underneath, you're not doing it right. 10. So there's a lot to think about to really make this effective. So from here, we're going to do a straddle on the back. And this straddle is an interesting one because you're going to be lifting your bottom off the floor. So you're going to extend the legs out here, and you're going to place your hands on your calf. You're going to have them at hip height, and you're going to curl your bottom up. Okay, here, and as you curl your bottom up, so that, and then push into your hands, and then release. Curling your bottom up, holding for 5, 4, 3, keep squeezing the glutes, 2, 1, release. So you're really pushing in, pushing out, squeezing the glutes, lifting the bottom up, and pushing the legs down, but not bringing them forward, and pushing them wider apart. 3, 2, 1. So super active here. So the glute is here, legs are at hip height, and you're really pushing down here, and you're squeezing that bottom up here. Really squeezing, but you keep on pushing down and release. Okay? Probably want to do 5 to 10 of those. So this one is a pike stretch. If you have any sensation in your calves, you want to do a nerve glide, and a quick way to release that, I'll show you that first, is to lie down, to bring one knee into the chest, and if you have that too much sensation in the calves over the hamstrings and back of the leg, you can do one leg and see if it helps to release that tension, that sciatic nerve tension. So you're going to keep the knee in the chest, point your legs, be straight at the end. So if you need to bring your leg up a little bit, you can at the end. So straight, then flex your foot and bring it down. Point, straight, 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 flex, bring it down. And if your knee moved off your chest, bring it back into your chest. Point and flex at the very top after it's straight and bring it down. So if you're finding that nerve tension, do both sides and then repeat this again. So you're going to place your foot. It doesn't really matter about your pointing or flexing because the hamstring doesn't run over the ankle, so you can choose that. I like to work a little bit on the point due to the fact that I'm working on the point, and a great way to work on that is to bring a block here. So you want to arch here to give the origin insertion again, to bring it away from your starting point, the origin insertion of the hamstring. And you want to use your lower abs open up through your chest, but keep your ribs strong. Really important, that arch here. Your legs need to activate as much as the first exercise. Your quads need to be super switched on, and your back needs to be straight. And you're just holding here. Remember, if you feel it more in your calf, then you probably want to go back and do the nerve. So you can do this way, and you could also do this way if you want. But again, there's no rounding. It's all extending. You're probably holding around a minute, okay? Now we're going to do similar exercise we did in the back bend, because it's really useful for everything. So you're going to go into a lunge, and you're going to squeeze the underbutt, and you're going to curl that hamstring. Remember, if you have a sensitive knee, please put something underneath it. And then from that squeeze, you're going to not lift the bottom when you curl in with the hamstring, okay? And you're going to keep a pelvis tuck, and you're going to move forward afterwards. So it's going to look like this. You're going to make sure that your hip isn't popping out to the side. You need to bring that in under, okay? And you need to bring this leg so far forward that it's super uncomfortable. So you can have your hands on blocks here. And from here, you're going to squeeze that back leg into the ground, activate the underbutt here, and then curl the leg up, curl the leg back down, and see how I go deeper. So again, squeeze the underbutt, curl the leg up, don't move up, push the leg back down, and you go deeper. Knee doesn't come out to the side, hip doesn't come out to the side, okay? So again, by squeezing the underbutt here, pushing the back foot down, curling the leg in, pushing down, and see that it's going deeper. So the other side, you would probably do more like 10, okay? So again, I'm just showing you the moves so that I would work from between 5 to 10. Really uncomfortable stance here. Super uncomfortable, but great for hip flexors. So squeeze the underbutt, make sure you don't rotate out to the side. Okay, so really pivot that hip in. Otherwise you're going to miss the elegance of working the muscles you want to stretch. Pelvis tucked slightly, I didn't mention that. At the depth of your lunge, squeeze the underbutt, push the back leg down. Then as you curl, don't lift up. Curl in, and then sink a little deeper. Tuck the pelvis, square the hips. You can use a block or something here. Curl and down. Let's do one more, see how I'm getting deeper. Make sure that knee is not tracking out. Really pushing down through butt activation. Curl and down. And release. Okay? So after that, so we're going to do a straddle, and the straddle is going to be quite, so like maybe 70%, and where booty shorts sit, this is the squeezing muscle, okay? And the aim is to go into your straddle, lean forward into your pancake, and then you're going to squeeze your underbutt and open your legs. So it's moving you towards a split. So you're not squeezing and lifting up, you're squeezing and opening. So at first, and I'm definitely a testament to that, there's very little movement, but as you do it more, there gets more movement. So your legs will go a tiny bit forward, but ideally not too much. You need the active quads here. And you're going to tilt forward here, and you're going to squeeze the underbutt and open the legs. a lot of movement, but it is happening. So eventually what it's going to do is going to pull you forward into that split. So you're going to squeeze the underbutt here and open the legs. So if you're on a slippery surface, you won't open as much, just like I had to pull myself forward a little bit. Squeeze where the booty shorts are, long chest, flex the quads, squeeze, squeeze, and you will slide your legs more open, okay? Again, because of my mat is too slippery, it's a little harder for my heels to slide, but my heels would technically slide backwards. Squeeze and open, okay? So this is really fantastic to get you into those middle splits. Now, if you want to, because that's going to slide you into the middle splits, another option is also to use blocks as well if you have a super open split. You don't necessarily have to be all the way to the floor sometimes when we go into over splits too, just so you know. That's not a guaranteed necessity because sometimes it helps us get a little deeper. So you have to be more for front splits about this far away from the floor, and you can also start to work over splits as well. All of this activation will also help you from not pulling your hamstring. So this is the next move. It's a hamstring stretch. It's about a minute. You're going to come in, don't pivot your hips, square them off. Be on the back toe, very little weight. Lean forward, up and over that arch. And then you can either stay here for a minute and inhale, exhale, keep breathing really straight through the quad here. Don't let that bend. And you can also pull yourself down, right? I actually have a little bit of sciatic issue at the moment, personally. So this helps me to ease off the sciatic and helps me to go deeper in the pose without the sciatic nerve decreasing my mobility. So I place my foot on a block, not too high, please. And then lengthen my spine, and you can see I can go a lot deeper because the sciatic nerve is not stopping me. And I lift up and exhale. Very little weight on the back leg. Long, long, lean. See, I'm not rounding. Long and lean here. And you would do both sides, so swapping over for around a minute. So you can choose whether you want your foot on a block. Remember, really lengthen that spine. You can choose whether you want your hands here or here. No weight in the back legs, scissor the legs, and come down for that minute. Okay, so now we're going to do a sliding split for your split work, for a front split, and then we're going to go into our straddle split, okay? So, and then we're going to cool down. So you will use some socks, preferably. Pop them on. I'm just going to move myself back so you can see. I'm just going to put something under my knee, it's a little sensitive. Okay, so there we go. You are going to come into lunge position. Okay, you're going to make sure this hip doesn't jump out to the side. So you're going to scissor in. Yeah? You will have to open a little bit, but we don't want to jump up. We want our ASI bones, our hip bones pretty even. Okay, you can flex or point the back leg. You tuck the pelvis, squeeze the glute, and you start to slide out. Yeah? Now make sure that hip doesn't hike again. So if that hip is hiking, drop it down and keep on sliding out. Again, engage the quadricep, engage the glute. Don't let that hip hike. And slowly, slowly slide out here. So really engaging, not poking out here. Okay? Really engaging down. And when you're here, really elongate out. So take your time to get into that. Your back bottom is working, your front leg is working, the quad is on, and you're leaning back, your shoulders back over your hip. Your glutes are engaged, okay? So again, on the other side, you're sliding down into it, so squeezing your glute. So that's the hip hike, we don't want that. We want to drop that hip down so the hip bones are even here. And then we want to pull our pelvis forward a little bit, pull our ribs in, slide out. There will be a slight opening, but no jumping up and not too big. And you're going to take your time going down. You're not going to rush because you want to keep working that hip bone, keep working those glutes, and sliding out. Yeah? Really active here. And really pushing back here. Really active in the glutes. Okay? And no lower back pain. And pushing up. Okay? And now we're going to work on the straddle. So you're going to squeeze your glutes where your booty shorts up, the side glutes, and I'll show you one with the block and one without, just so you can have both references. I can actually use the block even though I'm not quite sliding into splits without my hips coming off the ground. So legs are out wide, and it's the same point of reference. You can use your hands behind you if you need to. You're squeezing the side glutes, pulling your heels out, and moving forward. So from here, you're squeezing, lifting up, your legs are coming out, squeezing your side glutes, and coming down. Rolling forward, squeezing here, and coming down, yeah? So getting deeper and deeper. Squeezing here, pushing the pelvis down. Should be no pain in the attachments. Squeezing the glutes, so important. And coming back down. So rolling the hips forward, squeezing the glutes, and coming down. Now if you're at that point where you're pretty close to the ground, like me, and pretty straight, you don't have to be perfect, then you add this to add that extra length. You probably want to do this about a minute. It's definitely a burner, and not the most comfortable, but it will benefit you immensely. Also between passive and active flexibility, you will get much stronger in the movement, okay? So pushing the legs out, pointing here. It's a little hard sometimes for me to keep my feet on the block, as you can see, so I want to move the block forward so I have that rollability out. So from here, I'm going to point my feet, squeeze my side back. Your knees will come forward a little bit. Then lift up here and move myself forward, squeezing my side back. You can see the blocks are going out and coming down. Again, pushing my hips forward like this, squeezing my glutes. The knees do roll forward a little bit, and then lifting up again, a little bit up, and rolling down and leaning forward. Lifting up a little bit, opening up, leaning forward. There should be no knee strain either. That should mean your quads aren't and glutes aren't active enough, okay? And holding, and coming out. So you should really feel that in your areas of your splits. Definitely in your groin you will feel active, but no extra pulls upon that. And after we always do that, you can also do the over splits as well in the other one. And it's really important that your pelvis, your vagina bone, or your pelvis bone, or whatever it is rolling to the ground. Your vagina or your pelvis is rolling to the ground as you do that. And that will help you to really get active into the splits. Glutes have to be active, quads have to be active, toes pointed, okay? And then after stretching, active flexibility to finish always. Otherwise you lose what you've done, and you don't want to do that. So the first one we're going to do is pike with leg lifts with the arch. So you're going to sit here, and we usually do them like this in the compressed form, but we're actually going to do them like this with the arch. And so you're not going to lift as high, but you're still going to get a great benefit from it. So really arch that back. And you do 10 leg lifts, really quad activation, arch back. See how I kept having to push that back to get it in. So you're going to really work your hip flexors and your core together, 10 each side, okay? And then leg lifts and tabletop frogs are the last two. So this one's a really funky one. One of the things you want to note is your hips don't want to sway out to the side. So hands or elbows here, and you're going to push this leg that's bent down into the ground. And you're not going to push it out to the side, okay? And you're going to lift up, then you're going to drop that hip. So drop that hip and lift up again. And then you're going to push this foot down, curl your spine, and bring your leg down. So you're going to do around about 10. I'll just show you from the side now. Pushing this leg down, extending this leg. Maybe I'll show you one from the back as well. Curling the spine. Then push the leg down and lift the leg up. Drop the hip, but don't come out to the side here. Lift the leg high. Keep the leg straight. If it's not straight, bring it lower. Okay? Keep the hip in. And then curl here. Push this leg down and bring it down. Okay, so I'll show you one from the other side here from the reverse. So pushing the bent leg down here, starting with a curl, lifting that leg up, then dropping that hip but not going out to the side, dropping that hip and lifting up, straight leg here. Okay, if it's starting to bend, go down a little bit, keep the hip in, then curl, push this leg down and release. So that's a real burner. And you want to do 5 to 10 of those to cool down after. And then lastly, I'm going to do frog activations. So you're going to have one hand here, one hand here. You're going to lift up out to the side here. And as you lift up, you want to keep this leg in line. And you want to push your pelvis bone forward. You want to bring this leg in here, like an oblique crunch. And from here, hold. So this is helping you with passive and active flexibility. Really lift up. And if you can hold here at a good height, then you can extend your leg long and down. And do that 10 times. And each time you finish, push your hips forward. Extend your leg long and down. Push your hips forward. Okay? So from the side point of view, you're here. Here is the starting point. My hand is on the side, on fingertips. This leg is in line. You're going to lift up and you're not going to come back here. You're going to keep forward and lift up, right? And pushing the hips forward here, right? Really pushing forward so the underbutt is super active. Bring the leg in here and then extend up if you can. Otherwise, stay in the first position. And then bring it down and push your hips forward. The butt is working so strongly. And 10 repetitions. So try this out for leg routine, and I think it will make a huge difference.